This is BBC Radio 4.
The author of a report into the construction industry says a shortage of skills is leading to substandard building. Mark Farmer told a committee of MPs the industry would have to do more with less because of a shrinking workforce. Alicia McCarthy was watching.
Theresa May put affordable housing at the heart of her programme when she became Prime Minister. The target is 1 million new homes by 2020, but one big house builder has already suggested that goal may be missed. Before the UK voted to leave the EU, Mark Farmer wrote a review of the construction industry. He told the Communities and Local Government Committee that the sector was going to have to change the way it worked because its workforce was ageing.
What that suggests, based on census data and looking at the level of new entrants into the industry, is that we're going to lose 20 to 25% of our workforce over the next decade.
And Mark Farmer said the Brexit vote could mean that figure reached as much as a third. So what could be done? He said the industry had to get into schools when children were as young as 10 or 11 to change perceptions. But just as importantly, it had to change and innovate.
I think if we have a modern industry, a more productive industry that's a combination of traditional site-based working, traditional artisanal, biblical skills, whatever you want to call it, alongside more modern approaches, maybe factory-based, maybe hybrid, certainly digitally enabled, then you stand more chance of attracting the youngsters.
If there was already a skills shortage, MPs wanted to know what impact Brexit might have. Mark Farmer said there was already anecdotal evidence that some workers from the EU were having second thoughts about their futures.
A lot of EU nationals repatriate some of their earnings back to family in their home countries, and actually overnight or over the past few months the value of that back home is a lot less, and that's starting to influence decision making around people's plans. There's lots of real dangers around how the Brexit impacts can play out in construction. Construction's got massive exposure to it. In London, 40 to 50% of the workforce is migrant, not necessarily EU, but it's migrant labour. Nationally, it's somewhere between 10 and 15%.
A Conservative, Bob Blackman, turned his attention to how many homes needed to be built.
We know that actually we need to provide 200,000 homes a year just to stand still.
Precisely.
But no one's ever done it. And I don't think there's a matter of political debate between different political parties about this. It's a case of saying, yes, we need to do it. So given that everyone knows we want to do it, what provides that stability and encouragement to the industry to do it?
He was putting his question to Philip Callan, a research associate at the think tank Respublica. He argued what the industry needed was certainty.
What's missing out of the market at the moment, and it's been missing since the late 80s, is somebody buying rented homes on a scale. You've had somewhere between maybe 15 and 25,000 social rented properties produced by associations, topped up by shared ownership over the last 20 years. But since we actually stopped building scale rented homes, the market has not worked.
Mark Farmer said there was also a growing feeling that traditional house building wasn't delivering the quality people expected.
The pressures that the traditional trade workforce have had applied to it means that we've got substandard building going on at scale, and we're building a legacy issue in terms of downstream defects, maintenance issues that actually is pretty serious.
And he said there were other problems too.
Construction is inherently site-based, it's subject to the vagaries of the weather and all sorts of very specific issues. But the suggestion is that 50% of everything that's done in construction is waste.
Whether that was rectifying mistakes, bad design or problems with subcontractors, the industry, he said, was massively inefficient.
Alicia McCarthy. Now, as we heard earlier, the Community Secretary Sajid Javid held a